Good afternoon or evening, everybody, to wherever you are in the world. We apologize for the delay. This heat out here has been baking people's phones, so it's a little,
That
it's a little hot.
cap. Make me a co-host, B. I'll help you if you need it.
Okay. Make me a co-host.
Okay,
Let me know when you get
I
that.
got it. If it let me respond.
Okay. So as you all can see this week, but no, seriously, we thank you all for tuning in. As you can see, what we're going to be talking about this week is breaking records, and these are the race to all of the end of season awards. It's heating up. Some people thought it was going to be one way, the others thought it was going to be another, but everybody was like, "Not so fast. Hold up, I got something to say." So, what? Just go ahead and get things kicked off. We had some fun games over the weekend. Um, to some, maybe some disappointing results. What were your favorite games last week?
Ooh.
I think it was like the back-to-back L's that top teams took. Like it was just like the buildup of so many championship contending teams losing to teams that are nowhere near 500. That was just fun all
Nowhere
around.
near the playoffs.
Yeah. No, because Chicago and Indiana are in the playoffs, but they just not near 500. So, but it was cool to see that. Like it's just like a little reminder that anybody can get beat in this league, and the teams that's sitting at the bottom, they aren't bad. They just, they don't got all the wins. That's all.
They're just not the best. How about for you, Lo?
Uh, hmm. I think that game when Chicago beat Seattle, that was fun. Even though I had to go back and watch because I was watching the Aces and Sparks. I think watching Indiana beat the Liberty was fun. It's always fun to see the Liberty lose. Um, so yeah, I would say those two.
Okay, Dolores.
I've just enjoyed like the players that have been out the league or like on the cusp of being out of the league, come back in and bust ass and like put a lot of rumors to bed about their career and about their talent. So I think the upsets have just been a product of the fact that a lot of talent we've missed out on over the last few years because players haven't been in the best predicaments to succeed, and GMs and coaches haven't been good at their jobs. Um, so I think the upsets are honestly not as much a surprise. I'm just excited that people have a platform to be the stars that they've been. The W just didn't let them play.
And so, speaking on that, who comes to mind?
Kennedy.
Give me your three. Yeah,
Um,
okay.
I mean, Alana Smith, Kennedy, even Maya Caldwell, like, to me, like even when everybody's healthy, she's a better guard on that team than Haley. A lot of the people that they already have on the team. I mean, we just saw Kiki got an opportunity to start for the Mercury, and she hit the game winning three. Had some great defensive stops. Like there's just so many names. I mean, even Ari McDonald, like she was hanging on to a league spot, in my opinion, by the hair on her chin. And now it looks like she should be a starting point guard um, for the Sparks. And if we're being honest, with Azare being back, the Sparks might make a late season push to getting in the playoffs. Because as Yana pointed out, there's not a lot of teams above 500, and they're not that far behind um, Chicago and Indiana.
Okay. And I
So
think I
those are
think
some names I can think of.
I think we're definitely going to mention Aries' name a little later too. When we get to our award race, won't say just yet which one, but I think her name will pop up. And so you all mentioned the upsets over last week, and so I think first on the docket, we're going to have LA over Las Vegas, a team that seems to be the thorn in Vegas's side. What is it about the Sparks that just annoy the Aces?
I don't. If I'm being honest, I don't know if it annoys the Aces or if the Sparks just put their pants on a little quicker and put their pants on a little different that day. Cause I don't. The Aces sometimes they could be lackadaisical. They do things. The things that they do, like they don't be locked in. Sometimes I think it almost has less to do with them and more to do with LA. And I think LA comes ready to play them every single game. And Vegas, they don't get up with the same energy to play them. So I think from the jump, the Aces like game day, yay, and Sparks like let's beat these motherfuckers asses. So I
So
don't.
is it like what we saw during the college season, like how teams would get up to play South Carolina or your LSU's, and then their next games are just like look like Who Shot John almost?
I mean, yeah, not who shot John because I do think they're solid regardless. You know, they don't have all of the wins, but I think they're pretty solid when they do what they got to do. But I just think it's yeah, they just really get up to play the Aces behind De'Erica and her, um, her story, and the Aces are just kind of like okay, they just don't have that same vigor when they get up to play the Sparks. I think
Erica
it's
said
more
it.
that.
I'm so glad she said it. I'm so glad she said it in the post game. Like the team, knows how important this game is to me, and they play like it. They play like, um, they play like Effie just got her song taken from her, and Dina Jones,
Don't
is
make me
now the
start,
face of
Please,
the Dream Girls. Like,
don't make me
like that's
start.
literally every single time they play, De'Erica is got in her mind, like, give me the calls the Asians get in. And the team's like, y'all hurt my homegirl, like, we about to bust y'all in the mouth. And that's what they do. Like, I ain't never heard McDonald talk shit about nobody in no press conference. And baby girl said, damn, Kelsey's food on defense.
I don't
Like,
even think
they,
she was
they
talking
get up for
shit.
that game. They get up for that game. I think, but also like Kurt has his own personal rivalry with Vegas. They've been whipping his ass since he got, since he been a coach for some years. So, yeah, I think and somebody else said it on the TL, and I definitely have to mention it. Like, it is some matchup issues there. Um, the Sparks do have some size on the perimeter, especially with players like Rakia and Ray Burrell. And even though a lot of people don't know about them, they do pose matchup nightmares for them. And
I
I mean,
I think
Kelsey is just food in
yes,
general.
she
So I
is.
think that's another thing there. But yeah, I think matchups and just a matter of them being excited to play,
I
um,
I
fall into
I
it.
think the matchups will be fine if Alicia Clark was playing well. I think she has
It's true.
significantly. She's not giving. She's significantly something. I don't know what Alicia Clark got going on because any other day, you could take Jackie, Ray, Alicia, Rakia, whatever you needed to do, and it would be fine. But Alicia has not. That's what's kind of missing for them right now. To me, Alicia has not had that defensive intensity. She's throwing the goddamn ball away. Like she just kind of looks like she's on another planet right now, and that's an issue. But yeah, and I don't think Ari was talking junk. What she said was honest, but it's funny because the very next day, Natasha Cloud had her looking like a cone on defense. So
Andy.
you know, happens.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. Um, yeah, this is like their Super Bowl in a sense.
Not through
They
calling them
want,
Missouri.
listen,
Now,
they wanna beat
to
their
add
ass,
to that
and
point,
they got
I
like
love that
there's
Sabrina
something to
said
prove.
that.
Say that again, Dolores.
I love that Sabrina brought up that that's the Indiana Super Bowl, but you have to have a Super Bowl title in order to
Oh,
tell
girl.
somebody else that that's
Ooh.
their Super Bowl. But otherwise, I think that is very true. A lot of teams do get up to play other teams in the W.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is they're not getting up for y'all in the same way because y'all have not won anything and you have not won anything. So,
Ooh.
yes.
And for Vegas, to be honest, I had Vegas losing that game just
You
because of
did
it being
you
back to
did
back.
call them going one. Yep.
And like just with it being a back to back and Vegas, they really played badly out on back-to-back games, whether it's fatigue because they don't use their depth wasn't really as consistent in that Washington game. So that kind of hurt a little bit. It was good that they were able to rest them in the fourth quarter, but they kind of had to play and lean on their starters way more than they probably wanted to in that Washington game because players like, I think Tip was out that game. Alicia Clark was struggling. Kate Martin struggled a little in that game too. So they didn't really have a lot of people to lean on. And then you turn around, you go to LA. I think KP said they were leaving that night or something like that. So you go to LA and you play a team that's like ramped up and resting and waiting to play your ass and whoop your ass. And, so the fact that it was actually close, I was a little shocked, but because when they started pulling away, I was like, well, I was like, go ahead, take the starters out. It's just let your bitch get some work going and get prepared for the next one. But Vegas honestly could have won that game, but they just have this way of forgetting every time, never fails. They forget that they have Asia Wilson on their team. They just forget about her. Like, Asia was unguardable in that game. Unguardable. They could not guard her at all. When she got that ball at the top of the key and ripped through drive to whatever side she wanted to go to, she was killing them. They could not guard her. And there were too many possessions in that game where Jackie would come down and pull up a three. KP would come down, skip, jump, hop, skip, whatever, pull up a three or go to the rim.
Turnover.
Tip would come down, throw the ball in the air, fall flat face on the ground. AC come down, turn the ball. Chelsea fadeaway mid range wasn't working. I think she was like 1 for 9 that game. And it was just like, Asia was just sitting there looking like a glorified screener. She goes set screens for people, and I'm sitting there like, Asia literally has missed maybe 5 shots this game, maybe, if that. Why is she not getting more looks? They cannot guard her right now. Nobody can guard her right now. And it happens a lot for Vegas. Like, it really does happen way more than it should. And I don't want to say it's concerning because they're still winning, but to me, it's a problem when you have somebody like that on your team that can go 6 to 7 possessions without getting a look at the basket at all. That's a problem.
I just want her to damn touch the fucking ball. Like, most of the time, I don't be like, damn, man, you gotta score, you gotta score, you gotta score. But I promise you, if you let her touch the shit in a position where she can consider scoring, somebody gonna be open.
Right.
Like, D was in foul trouble late. Every time Asia took it to the rack, D had to foul her in order to prevent her from scoring. So, I mean, at least make D think about it. But I got Kelsey hop skipping. Chelsea's, trying to find her rhythm. Jackie made them late shots early in the OT and late in the fourth. And that was nice, but it's like, baby, you just sat down with your wrist hurting. Like, chill. And then, yeah, and like even that late missed rebound from AC after De'Erica
Oh
missed most free
God.
throws, I was just like, y'all not locked in.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you not locked in. Like, and so I said on the TL, but I like, Vegas, like the same thing we said about South Carolina is the same thing I'll say about Vegas. Like Vegas will lose if Vegas wants to lose. Like Vegas will lose if Vegas is not locked in. Like nothing LA did, even with the matchups, all that hoopla. Vegas should have won the game. Period. But they didn't. Why? Because everybody's not locked in. Then they get into that habit of like, I'm gonna go 1-on-1, and it was clear that Kelsey, Ari was in Kelsey's head. She was trying to get her big one on her, and every single time, shit wasn't working. So like, I'm praying that this little All-Star break will be a prayer for the team. And Becky will have a conversation with those that remain about getting their shit
Not
together. Um, because I just can't. Like, I don't know why Sydney doesn't get more minutes. I feel like of anybody coming off the bench, she is consistently the one that's locked in, ready to play, laugh at her, joke at her, not like what she does, whatever. But she always has an intensity that Vegas needs on the floor. And I just wish everybody else would come with that same energy.
okay. Another game last week. Once again, as Yana mentioned, the contenders lost. So Chicago over the Seattle Storm. What did we see in that game that we liked?
Shit, Kennedy Carter is
Yeah.
ain't nobody. I can't even think of somebody in the league that can guard her right now. Like, who do you put in front of her to try to stop her? Her first step is so quick, and Seattle, they did not have an answer for her. Like, I was starting to feel bad for Jordan because I was like, damn, send some help. Somebody help the girl. Trap something.
Yeah, they just was hooping. Like, you know how I said at the beginning of the season, I feel like Chicago will be very up and down because some games they're gonna catch people off guard and they just gonna be in their bag. And I think that's just what happened. Kennedy was hot, Angel was hitting threes, but doing her thing that she always does. They just caught them slipping, just like I said. Like I said, they'll have a very up and down season. And next game, Seattle being Betts and of course Camilla sitting. They came back and they were ready. Kennedy still did well, but she definitely wasn't as dynamic as she was just the game before. So it just made a difference.
Okay.
And Angel was knocking down threes.
Yeah,
That game was
they
wild.
just was
Angel
hooping.
made the first three, and I was like, okay. And then when she made the second one, I said, well, shit. Seattle, just go ahead and take the L.
Yeah, they just was hooping. And they're such a emotional team, not emotional in a bad way, but their leaders are so emotions driven. So when they start seeing one fall and they start getting on 10, it's a wrap. And then I feel like that also can go the other way because I feel like in the next game they got a little in their feelings and got a little upset, and you could definitely tell they were wearing it on the court.
Valid. That is valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago is all they live off
Mhm.
of emotion. Like that's one of those teams where when you say don't poke the bear, the whole team don't poke the bear. Like because if you do, that when you bottle up that I'm gonna punch you in your eye energy and start playing like Kennedy and Angel played. Cause hell, the cool thing about that first game was they was holding Camilla at first, but once she was like, "Oh, my team locked in, let me lock in a little bit," baby girl was locked in too. So like they are a really talented team. I still think that they are a guard away from actually looking like a 5, 4, 6 seed. Um, but no, they were locked in.
Okay. And then the next game we had the Liberty falling to the Indiana Fever.
That pick and roll, starting to pick and roll. Hey, Liz was on them goddamn boards. Now I ain't
She
never,
was.
now I ain't never seen Liz on the boards like that. Liz, it's like she kind of was like, okay, I'm a score when I get it. Caitlin and Leah doing their thing, so I'm gonna find a way to assert myself and also like make sure we win this goddamn game, and that's what they need. And that I think Nalissa is super talented, but that game to me, I really enjoyed Nalissa because it's kind of like she was like, well, shit, like I don't think she's selfish in general, but I think sometimes her play can be a little selfish, especially some of the stuff she did last year. But this past game, she really was like, fuck it. Like, we finna win this game and I finna do what I can do. Like, I have never seen Liz on the boards like that. She just was really doing doing it all for them, and that was dope to see. If she can lean into that, they're gonna be cooking with fire. And just like Dolores said about Chicago, they're a couple pieces away from really doing something because CC and Aaliyah is deadly, like we knew they would be.
Stewie don't put no
No, she
fear in
don't.
nobody's heart no more. And that's the
She don't.
conversation I think is missing this year. Is like, is the talent there? Is the name recognition there? Are the awards there? Yes. But if you like, we've seen these matchups with Indiana and New York before, and typically those are the games where Stewie drop her 45, drop her 30, and gets to the money instantly. Well, early in the game, Indiana came out swinging because they had the home court there. Cause to Sabrina's point, it was their Super Bowl and they were locked the fuck in. Caitlin made that first three, and you already knew what time it was. But I think once the game got close again, I was like, man, Indiana about to be fucked. Cause New York had a little lead at the time, and I was like, I don't think they're
I
gonna
think
get
by
it
like
back.
7 points with
But the
like 2 minutes
difference
left,
makes
right?
Yes, like they were up. But the difference was, to Lowe's point, Nalissa kept going at Stewie ass on both
Mhm.
ends. Like defensively, she was in her space. She wasn't letting her get those easy shots. They weren't falling, and she was going after them rebounds. They had already took JJ out the game because she had that little tired Popeyes worker face going when Aaliyah started putting them hips on her ass. So she was out the game. New York saving grace that game was Benaja. But the thing is that any game when Benaja plays like that, typically everybody
Yep.
else is fucking up. So I knew, I was like, yeah, Indiana got a shot
Oh,
late, and they put it together.
also
What you say, love?
Lexi closing that game out instead of Katie Lou made a
Yes.
Oh,
huge difference.
they gotta keep
Yes,
her on defense,
yes,
bruh.
yes.
Like
Because
Katie Lou
she's
is
a
a
dog.
motherfucking
Because
ooh
Katie
A
Lou,
ooh
cone.
because I was saying Alyssa,
home.
she was like you said was in a defending Stewie getting the rebounds. Lexi, her and Lexi was tag teaming motherfuckers. Alyssa and Lexi was getting it done. They were getting it
They
done.
were.
And then on the flip for the Liberty, they were so goddamn bad because Vandersloot, I'm not sure she fits anymore. Sorry. I'm just not sure if she fits. Maybe it's time for her to take that, okay, I'm a vet role. I'm on the team to come in and shake it up when I need to, but I'm a sit down because when she was in the game, Sabrina wasn't on her P's and Q's. And Sabrina has been a hero of that team this far this season, right?
Hmm.
But when she was playing, Sabrina wasn't really in the mix. It just kind of didn't work. But when they sat Sloot down that second half, Sloot sat her ass down. Sabrina rotated and whatever she needed to rotate in, we saw more KT, and that's when they start hooping. That's when they start. That's when they start. When they close the gap a little bit. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do with Vandersloot. Sandy,
But
go ahead.
why is KT like? Why did they shoot so many fucking threes? Like, do they think they
I
the
think they're the
Mercury or
Aces.
That's
something?
their thing. I think they
I
make the
don't.
most,
But
right?
that's not
It's
smart.
not, but
Like KT is like KT is a matchup
Mm-hmm.
nightmare. Like nightmare. That made no sense. Like like the one thing I love about Vegas is that when Becky sees a matchup she can exploit, she goes at that shit for the whole game, and typically that means that somebody else can get their rocks off too. New York wins in that matchup were on the motherfucking perimeter. Attack Caitlyn and attack Katie Lou. If Katie Lou's out the game, then you got the matchup on the other end because you know Lexi not scoring. The only people you got to worry about on offense is Caitlyn, Aaliyah, and Alyssa. Like you had the matchup wins all game and did not exploit them. I don't get it. But you got everybody and their mama shooting threes the whole game and y'all win it. Like go attack the rim, bruh.
Yeah.
So,
And
but it was a pleasant game for me because I didn't care who won. Somebody was like, "Oh, you mad?" Because I made a little tweet about the fans getting turned about the triple double. Now you know, shit. Aaliyah played for the team. Like I could talk shit and still be happy. The fuck, like it don't matter to me. But nah, it was one of my favorite games this season because
Yeah.
everybody was
Katie
locked in
Lou
trying to win.
did decent too.
No,
she
I'm
hit
She
sorry,
a
hit
she
some.
hit
she
a
She
shot
hit
three
some
or
everywhere.
threes.
two,
Her defense was a little
and then
better.
she like
Yeah.
airball. She airball one real bad in the fourth quarter,
she
Maybe
did.
and
baby
I
needs
was
some
like,
glasses.
But also, I need to address that woman, Christy. I'm sick of her. Like, I can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. Because how the fuck you saw the
Yeah,
entire
that was
first
silly.
half? You saw Nalissa and Aaliyah do what they did against two players that typically try to hold him. And you got the nerve to say, Kelsey Mitchell, who was like 4'12" at the time, and Caitlin was getting their rocks off, but your post wasn't doing it. Come
Yeah.
on now.
Okay. So those were the three big games of the week, and everybody won a game at one point last week, except the North Florida Nightmares.
Not too fucking much because they beat the whatever. They
So
beat the Sun.
when
Not this past week though. I think that was within.
That was like
yes,
2 weeks
2 weeks
ago.
ago. So what is broken in Atlanta, if anything?
Everything.
That woman that was on the app tweeting about best defenders defending best players
At 5 a.m., right?
at 5 a.m.
Do we do we think that that team, because we know that in past seasons we haven't seen a lot of moves be made. A lot of teams often stay put when they approach the trade deadlines, unless there's some infighting going on. If you know, you know. So, do we think that this is a year where we see some shakeup from teams, or do we think that the stubborn ways and let's just figure it out continues with a lot of the league's rosters?
Well, honestly, at this point, LA looks like okay, they could probably make something work because Azare's back, and that changes how their front court looks, which was a big issue in my opinion once Cam went out. Um, So I think that they'll win some games surprisingly after All Star break. Atlanta's really the only team that looks like a shit show. Cause even Washington, I think we know they're not supposed to be good. So they're just, if they win some, they win some. If they lose them, it don't really matter. But Atlanta was a team, and Dallas, my bad, I'm gonna get to them. But, Atlanta was a team we all thought would be strong playoff contenders. And at one point, they were the 7th seed, and they've lost so many games consecutively. Chicago and Indiana have jumped them. Um, and then Dallas are putting themselves so far behind that no matter who comes back, they might not be able to make it in the playoffs.
And
So those are
And
the
then we
two.
have we still okay. You're right. And so those teams. It's what I think we're at the halfway point numbers wise. I think
Yeah,
everyone
most
is
teams
almost
have
at
played
20.
20. Some are a little over, but I think everybody has played 20 by now.
And so, it's not a lot of season left. I mean, you come back from the break, most people will probably be within that 14 to 18 game range left for the season, and it's that home stretch. And we know, like I mentioned, the trade deadline is coming. Of course, the previous week we had some waivers, so there are some teams that will probably be adding some pieces, whether or not they're waiting for those hardship contracts to be terminated or waiting for some after the Olympics to sign some of those players. Who knows if they can? So then one of those teams being Chicago, another one of those teams being the Aces. They're all currently playing with 11 on their rosters, and Chicago is down to 10 because Elizabeth Williams is injured. So um, who out there, if not players, I know we talked about in the past about teams, I mean players you would trade for, but who out there is unsigned would you go and pick up?
That's hard. I would need to see a list.
Yeah. And I just don't trust the people out there listing because Vegas getting Jessica Carter made no fucking sense.
Some people say it was just a light of fire under the other girl's ass.
I hope so because tomatoes.
I feel like everybody that I wanted to get signed has already been signed. So
Yeah, you were saying Odyssey needed to be on somebody's roster.
yeah,
Ooh,
Queen is still
Yeah.
out
yeah,
there, right?
Queen is.
yeah. Queen is yeah.
So now I have a question. Once that hardship expires, would you want to see Vegas pick up Odyssey?
I don't think Dallas gonna let her
If
go.
they're not,
Well, Dallas would be stupid to let her go. And if they don't have to, I'd let Lou go. To be honest, before I let Sims go.
So in other words, Dallas want to pull what they did last year, just shut people down or lock. What was the situation with Kalani? They like finagled a way to keep her, even though her termination, excuse me, her hardship
Yeah, she was on
expired.
like a end of season hardship or something like that. And with Diamond and Lou continually being out, they are always going to be under 10. So they keep her.
So you think they're going to keep both Mo Billings and Odyssey. It would make sense.
Yeah, they
They better.
definitely should.
I do think those will be two people who will get quickly picked up. Um, okay, and so moving on. Oh, go ahead.
I have a controversial take,
Mm, mm.
but I think they need to move on from
I
Tierra.
don't. I,
You know,
most
okay,
people
and
think
I was
that.
thinking that.
I've seen a lot of
Huh?
people say that. She just, yeah.
I was thinking that the energy seemed off, and it has seemed off with her. And I'm not saying her and the rest of the team, but it seems like oftentimes she doesn't want to be there. I could be totally off base, but she seemed disinterested when she's sitting on the bench sometime, like she's like wants to be just unbothered. And and Kalani and Natasha and the rest of the bigs, they're more engaged. So where would you think T could be a fit?
I think she needs to go to a coach that'll hold her accountable the same way, um, like she was in college. Like I think Cheryl Reeve, homeboy in LA, or even this wouldn't work right now, but even Chicago type situation. She just needs a coach that's more demanding, but also allows her to still be herself outside of the game. But I think she needs a coach that, is forcing her, okay, like you can't come in the game and give me less than 5 rebounds, or you can't come in the game and whine about every foul call. Like she's turning a little bit into a whiner on the court, and always complaining. And I think that takes a lot away from the morale and even just the energy of the team a lot of the times. Because when she's locked in, it's like, damn, the Wings can do something. But I mean, she easily gets knocked off of her, high horse so quickly during the game. So it's like, can nobody work with that?
Yeah, she let Megan get in her head quickly. Shout out to Big Meg.
Get him in. Get him in.
But
The
whoever
Iowa
takes
girls
her,
were
she
feisty
costs a
last
lot.
night.
It was.
Okay.
So good luck to whoever takes her because she's expensive.
I mean, but I think if you get buy-in from her, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the same conversation we had about Camilla. Like, she's a bust. She's number 3. Every team in the WNBA would kill for a 6'7" mobile big that can defend her position. That you have that in McCowan, and McCowan actually finishes well and consistently around the
That is
rim.
valid.
You just never know if you're going to get the consistent game to game. It's very JJ-esque in my opinion. But if you can get her somewhere where she's being forced to do what she needs to do, then you got something you like.
Okay. We're going to move on to some individual performances in the past week. This was definitely a week of records being broken. Some they're breaking records every night, and so first off, we want to congratulate these two individuals. Well, three individuals. Angel Reese has officially captured the WNBA record for consecutive double doubles. And one thing about Angels, hers has come in one season. She passed Candace, who they were both tied for 12th place, but Candace Parker's, hers were, just in case you didn't know, I was talking about Candace Parker when I say Candace. But hers were over the span of 2 seasons. Angels were all in the same season. And so she now holds that record for 13 consecutive double doubles. What is it about Angel? I know we talked about her aggression, or her aggressive play, that dog in her. A lot of people didn't think that it would translate to the pro level. Some of us here, but we knew that or from the words of Lowe, the dog would translate. What else is it about Angel's game that has allowed her to be successful so far in her very short W career?
Camilla.
Right now, I think it's just that. Um, she's not. I think it's just that. That's what it is. Your rookie year, you come in, you just stop, you just got finished playing college basketball. Like we say, it's the WNBA is not a developmental league at all. You got to kind of seek out that yourself. She's just being coached, going to practice, doing what they're telling her to do. But for right now, I think what's really helping her is her dog. That's it. She Because she's not, if you watch her, she's not doing anything different than she was doing before. She rebounds really well. She go take that bitch back up. I mean, it's really that simple. Which is scary for the rest of the league because she's really getting it done off of being a dog right now. She hasn't. I don't think she's doing anything different. So when she has an off season or overseas season or whatever she decides to do to
That
train
girl ain't going no overseas.
or whatever, I don't know whatever she decides to do. When she does start developing, this, and a third, then it's gonna be scary for everybody else. But right now, I think her dog is carrying her and her grit, her resilience, her tenacity. That's all it is. Like she's one of them players. I know my coaches used to tell me all the time, like half the battle was effort and trying hard. That's what she just got a knack. She got a knack for the ball. She got a knack for rebounding. She's just a dog, and I really think that's what it is right now. That's it.
Angel understands the mental side of the game too better than a lot of people. Like you really can't shake her at any point because her natural competitiveness
Are
is
you okay
always
over
going to
there?
shine through. And I think that's one of the things I like the most about her is that like that dog, that competitiveness is always on. And so like a lot of stuff she does is just like smart and savvy because she's not taking the play off. Like, okay, you might do something on her. Well, as soon as you look up to try to point and tell somebody to go somewhere, she gonna slap the shit out your hand. That's a steal up for a layup. She knows how to position herself well, so she's got the mental there to go with her dog. Like, and I think that's what is so cool is that like foul trouble. Like, even if we go back to the game they played against Vegas, Asia was holding her in the first half, like on her ass. She came back in the second half. That didn't take her out the game. She didn't let, okay, well, people gonna talk shit about me on social media, da da da. Now she got back to the money, and at the end of the game, her stats was what her stats were because she understands that, you might have got me in the first half, but I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna keep coming. And most people can't handle somebody going at them for a full game, and that's what you're gonna get when you play Angel is somebody going at you for a full 40 minutes. But I said Camilla because I think honestly, we talked about this when she was in college. Angel plays so much better when she has a five beside her. Angel's not a natural five. And we see that in the W. Like, a lot of times her speed, her quickness, her skill, because she's not always the tallest person, in her position, but her quickness, her skill, her length, her arms are long as fuck. That allows her to be creative and be savvy because again, like Ezzy in the Seattle matchup, Ezzy wasn't her primary defender. It was NECA. NECA's more similar to her size. NECA doesn't really have, the same physical strength that Angel has. So she can get a lot of stuff just off of that matchup. And the fact that Camilla's there to hold off Ezzy, who's the more um, known defender, allows her to get some shots that maybe she wouldn't get when Izzy's in the game or even when EW's in the game. So I think having somebody like Camilla on the floor beside her just opens up the floor for her to do her do more than
I
before.
also can't. I guess, like I have to tell myself, especially now within the league, everybody's watching basketball and consuming it in different ways. I feel like a lot of us who previously watch, being on W Twitter, we all have our favorites that we don't play about, but we also watch basketball as a whole, you know what I mean? And I think now we have a lot of people who are watching it specifically for one person. So when we say things like Camilla, like that comment that you just made, somebody will probably take it and run with it and say something negative about it. But it's not that. Like that's what basketball is. It's give and take. It's helping. Damn right. Why you think somebody drafted both their ass? Hell yeah, I want both of them. Duh. That's how basketball works. So I wish we could all get to a place where we realize by saying Camilla helps Angel out a lot down there in the paint. That's not hating or dissing Angel. That's saying that's what the fuck they supposed to be doing. They supposed to be tag teaming. That's why the GM was like, yeah, I'm on both their ass. Hell you talking about?
Correct.
Okay. And the next record, the first rookie triple double, set by Caitlin Clark against the New York Liberty. Um, Dolores, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's impressive. I think, the more I see Caitlyn, the more she really does remind me so much of Sabrina. And even DT, like they're all very similar players. I think it's an impressive feat because of the game that they got it in, more so than anything. Because Caitlyn's best asset in the W, in my opinion, is her passing. And so once they started to figure that part of her game, I knew the rebounds and scoring would be there because, just by pure shot attempts alone, getting the 10 points for Caitlyn is very easy. And the way um, that team plays on offense, Caitlin's hanging out down there to get the board and start the offense. They don't really do a lot of letting Melissa and Aaliyah initiate the offense. Um, and Kelsey's, shooting out of a cannon to get to the other end to shoot a three anyways. So just by scheme alone, the rebounds are there. But I think the assists have been so impressive because a lot of times those assists are coming um, to Aaliyah and to Nalissa who need to be involved offensively. And now that Katie Lou's in the starting lineup, we're seeing a lot more efficiency from the guards and shooting around her. So that was really cool. But yeah, I mean, I think it's an impressive feat. I will say this is not me hating. I do think we kind of running out a little bit with it. Especially because I know that this triple double is going to be used as like well, she got a triple double. Angel only got a, double double. But I think if we were able to discuss it just for what it is and not use it as a way to diminish, her competitors, I would appreciate it even more. But yeah, it was an impressive feat, a big win for the team. And I think if they can continue this trend, they'll be solidly in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to add. I remember when when Indiana, we did like a chat or like a wind down, and the Mystics the Fever beat the Mystics by like two, and Caitlyn had like 30 something points, and everybody was celebrating it, and I remember saying, so we could play like this, and Caitlyn could score 30, 35 points, and we could barely beat the worst team in the league at the time. Or we can do something a little different. We can make sure we're getting it in the post, so we can make sure we're doing this, and Caitlyn's gonna still get hers, and it'll result in better wins, right? So now we see Caitlyn had maybe 20 points. I don't really know, but she also had the triple double because, like Laura said, like a lot of people said, her best asset in the league is probably her passing. And we can see how, yeah, she didn't score the 30 points, but look, she got a triple double and they beat the best team in the league. So it just kind of goes back to that. What are you aiming for? You want to score 30 and beat the worst team by two? Cool. Or do you really want to start making some shit shake? So I think Indiana has kind of figured out, okay, we want to make some shit shake. This is how I need to play. We need to get Aaliyah involved. We need to get Alyssa involved. And everybody looks happier. Everybody looks happier. And it helps. That matters. So I like it. I like that pick and roll between her and Aaliyah is insane. The passes that she throws to Aaliyah are insane. They're really just growing in their chemistry. So I like it. It's like I said, it's dope feat. But
And I will say that just watching that game, a lot of people are like, well, Lee and Alyssa are playing Caitlin's pace. Wrong. They are playing a
yeah,
controlled pace, which that team needed. Going 95 miles per hour the whole game is not feasible with that
mm-mm.
roster. Going, getting out in transition after you've gotten a couple of stops, that's different. Getting out in transition when the game is close and the other team's tired. I mean, you gotta stop and you want to go score quick. That's different. But playing Caitlin's place for a full game is exactly how New York got back in the game and almost ran away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Playing a slower, more controlled, methodical pace strategically is what then allows those other players on the floor to get involved and feel like assets and be a part of the offense. But running is not how they're gonna do well in this league.
People
So
are
I
stupid.
hope everybody's a little bit smarter than they try to act some days. But
People are
yeah.
stupid. They think slower means slow. No, bitch. It just means slower. That's why I think people lost you.
Yeah, and it
You're
and
right.
it helps her too though. Like I think maybe Carolyn Peck has said it or maybe Andrea Carter and how, like when you look at the players in the W, they're quicker, they're longer, they can get into those passing lanes the way maybe some college kids can't. They can adjust quicker and, get in help side a little bit quicker, and you see her turnovers, which has been like the biggest glaring issue so far in her career, but you see those numbers starting to go down because they're playing at a more methodical pace. Like when they were playing at the Iowa pace, she was cranking out like 10 to 12 turnovers a game. But now that they're slowing the game down, you maybe see like 5, 6. And so she'll get better at it. But I think the methodical pace helps everybody, which is what most reasonable fans were saying they needed to do from the jump. Get everybody involved, play at a pace that works for Nalissa and Aaliyah, and figure out a way to involve Caitlin, because we've said it before, Indiana's offense was not an issue last year. Indiana was like top 3 or 4 in offense last year. So offense wasn't a problem for them. So the fact that to start the season, they were like the worst offense was a big deal. Like the pace wasn't a problem last year. And I think they're getting back to that pace, but have found a way to implement Caitlin in it now too. So it works for everybody.
Elsewhere in the W, we have another record that's been, well, yeah, franchise record. But Asia Wilson is now the all-time leader in points scored for the Las Vegas Aces franchise. And we know that stems back to the Utah Stars as well as San Antonio. And she is on pace to become the first player to score 1,000 points in a system. I mean, in a season, excuse me. The closest was last season with Jewel Lloyd scoring 939 points. Actually, all the top three were all last season. Jewel Lloyd, Brianna Stewart, and Asia Wilson all scored over 900 points last season. Jewel had 939, Stewie had 919, and Asia is at 912. And so, and we know that the highest average per season so far has been in 2006. That was Diana Taurasi at 25.29 points per game. So, what do you all like from the season that Asia has had so far? And what do we feel like there's even another level that she could possibly turn up to still in this current season?
Hell yeah! If our teammates pass
Hell
the
yeah.
ball, but yeah, she just shit. I don't
I
even know.
love that she knew she was finna put in work this season because she put that little silver wig
She
on, and
did. She
now
did.
every time that she do something, we all see the silver wig. Um, but yeah, man, Asia's unguardable, man. That last game, she made like 3 threes in a row, and I just was laughing. Like I was just like, I don't know what you do as a defender, to be honest. Like, what you want me to do?
Pout.
You said Paulo?
Yep.
Crossing people up at half court? Like,
And
come on,
she
man.
used to pull that out like once every now and then. She's been doing it every game now, and making it. Dolores,
I mean,
I know you had
I'd
something you
foul
want
her
to
ass too, to be honest. The way everybody be fouling her, I probably foul her too. Shit.
say. You're gonna have to earn this shit.
Okay. Earn it at the free throw line.
The only way to stop Asia now is for Asia to stop her damn self. Okay?
Mhm.
If Asia, because I say this shit all the time, Asia love to get comfortable with them damn step backs and them
She sure
fadeaway
do.
middies. Take your ass to the rack and get to the free throw line if the mid range not falling. But otherwise, everybody else has said it. Asia's unguardable. She's unfuckwithable. And the beautiful thing about it is I was around 4 or 5 years ago when the girl said she would never be better than Stewie. Now Stewie is kissing at her damn signature shoe. Don't play with my girl. She is the baddest bitch here. She is only 27, approaching 28 in August. Turn up for my girl's birthday. Make sure that your coins are in order for her shoe. Make sure your coins are in order for the clothes. I don't give a damn if you don't like the signature A. Bitch, that's not my business. Okay, bye. But what I said is what I said. If Asia's not undisputed, in the words of Kelsey Plum, undisputed MVP, baby, I'm rioting. Okay, we ride at midnight. Call it the Proud Girls. Baby, we turning the hell up. Don't play with my girl. She is the MVP, unquestionable. It's no problem. No, ain't nobody fucking with her. She's in a league of her own, baby. Period. This is the Olympic Committee, and everybody else is on motherfucking AP. Okay, get off her face.
And like,
Period. Bad bitch.
even if you like the points, she's already leading in that category, but currently she's top 5 in steals. I want to say she's number 4 right now, either 4 or 5, but I think she moved up to 4. She's number 1 in blocks, and she's number 2 in rebounds. To be top 5 in 4 out of 5 major categories that everybody pay attention to, that is insane. Like, you see people maybe 2 or 3, but to be there for 4 out of 5, and you're probably not going to see her there for assists because she's a post player, but like, that's insane. That is well-rounded, great generational talent.
Yeah, and the fee, like all the MVP talks, it's not like a diss on fee, but it's just not. I think she's doing well. I think she's doing well. Well, I hope her foot's okay, but no, it's just not. No, it's
It
just
ain't the
not.
same, baby.
It's just not a comparison. And then when I saw the head to head, it's just not. It's just not there yet. Like maybe one day we'll have a different conversation. How we used to say Stewie and Asia, Stewie and Asia. Maybe we'll be in Asia one day. I don't know. But right now, it's just not there.
It's different when it's different.
Yeah,
Let's just be
yeah.
honest.
But
It's different when
that's
it's
not
different.
dissing her. That's not saying she's not
At
good because
all.
she is. She really is. But no, respect.
Yeah.
No,
I I I just hope that the same way that the story makers, the storytellers find ways to like really contextualize these types of seasons, the season Asia is having is is WNBA history type season. Like this ain't no, oh, she's the MVP. Like this is like, bitch, ain't nobody did this
yeah.
ever type season. And that's what I want the girls to make sure that they don't forget. And we love doing the whole, who has help, who who's beside what, super team, do. Asia played 12 games without Chelsea. Got it done. Asia's now played what, 6, 7, 8 games with Chelsea. Got it the fuck done. Baby, it's gonna get done regardless, okay? She can't be stopped regardless, okay? And even if she does stop, the level of consistency. Bad games for Asia are now 25-point games, y'all. Your fave is trying to get to 22 on 7 for 55 shooting. And even to Yana's point about the assists, if I'm not mistaken, I got to go look at the stats. This is probably one of the career high years for Asia in
Oh, it
assists. So
is.
while it
Yeah.
might not be top 5 in the league, in her career, a 2-time MVP career, she's already up there in assists. Okay, so don't play with Marco Rubio. Okay,
Okay. So since we are on the category of the greatness that is of Asia Wilson, we're going to go right into the award race. And so we're halfway through the season, as we mentioned earlier, and I do think that there should be at least a clear picture of the real contenders. A lot of times, people like to throw names into conversations. We're going to see campaigns start ramping up soon from teams to campaign for their particular players. I mean, that's fine, but realistically, hopefully they save their money on some of these promotional items. So for the MVP race, your three, who are your three
It's
serious
not
MVP
three. We
candidates?
just
Is
said
it?
that.
We know that we as the committee feel that there is only one right answer for the
Asia,
MVP.
Everybody should, and I'm not even playing. Like
I get that, but if
Asia,
you were a GM,
Asia.
if you were some of the other teams, who would you consider at least investing a little bit of money in?
this what
nobody.
I'll do. I'll tell you who can't be it, even though they're having good
Okay.
seasons. At, um, Arike, De'Erica, Stewie, JJ.
So it sounds like Asia, feet and shoes.
That
Correct.
those would be the three.
And there,
Well,
and then
I'll
with
give you
those
that.
three, that's one A. No, not even A. There's one, and then you skip.
No,
Five,
it's one,
seven.
143, 144.
Yeah, it's yeah. Now, that's not to say that after All Star break, the other girls might not turn the hell
Right, right,
up.
right. But right
But
now, no.
as of right now,
As for me and my house, okay, got you. All right.
and this isn't one of those years where you can play the like record game because again, let's pray the girl stays healthy. But if Fee's out for even a little bit, some L's will be taken. Um, Sabrina is on a super team, and we know last year that being on a super team took you out of qualifications for being MVP for one team. So if Stewie is an MVP candidate as per ESPN and JJ is an MVP candidate as per ESPN, then Sabrina is just a all first team player, correct?
Mm.
correct.
Okay, just want to make sure I'm right. Gotta keep it correct.
Oh, that's Shabusha or whatever. Okay. Um. Okay.
Mhm.
So, well, that's the answer for that one for the MVP. We're going to go to. Is there for this next category? I think this one might have a little bit more, um, people joining the party. But Defensive Player of the Year award. Is there one clear cut answer so far, or you
No,
all
I
think
don't
that
think
there are
it's
others?
clear for that.
My
Okay.
top three
Ezzy's
are
Ezzy's my front runner.
Ezzy, Asia, and Fee. But I'm going to go with Asia at the moment.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with Izzy at the
I'll
moment.
give it that. I like Ezzy
Yeah,
right
I have to go
now.
Izzy.
Okay. So, Yano, what was the edge for? Well, you in Asia. Lo and Dolores, what was the edge for Ezzy
That
over Asia?
motherfucker be sending shit.
You don't want to hear my take?
I'm gonna get to yours. I'm gonna get to yours, but we're gonna do Asia's last.
She be sending shit.
I think Ezzy finally got into her mind that like she can't be hold. Um, and now she like her shit be disrespectful. The rotations be disrespectful. The blocks be disrespectful. The rebounds be disrespectful. Everything just look a little extra intense from her this year. And I think genuinely like she does put fear in some people's hearts when they play. Now, not Asia, not Fee, and not maybe Stewie, but everybody else, yeah, she be on 10 for. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Izzy.
And
Okay.
I think Asia be holding back sometimes. I don't know if she don't want to get in foul trouble, but sometimes I just feel like she would let motherfuckers go. That pisses me off.
A few games over the
Hey,
past couple of days, I have seen where it
I
looked
be like,
like
girl, what
she
you doing?
she do like that little tippy toe jump type thing. I like, get up and get that. But I get you.
Yeah,
Okay. Now,
You gotta
Yano,
stay out of foul trouble,
yeah,
man.
she do.
We ain't got nobody else. Ain't no other post players on the team.
that's fair. That's fair. What separate? Why do you give it to Asia over Ezzy? Oi, oi, oi.
Just you know me, I'm a numbers person. So just off of blocks, Asia wins that. Steals, Asia wins that. Defensive rebounds, Asia wins that. So, and then on top of that, on a crappy ass defensive team of guards that be letting people blow by them, somehow, some way, Asia still be finding a way to protect the rim. So, she gets my vote at the moment.
Okay. Sorry, I'm cooking. Um,
We know.
I was trying to be real quiet. Place that pot down. Okay, so it's split on Defensive Player of the Year, and for the I'm gonna say this Sixth Woman of the Year. We've seen a lot of movement because players who started the season on the bench are now starting,
Yeah,
and
that fucked me up.
some starters have moved to the bench. So I mean, if you had to choose, I guess who's been that consistent bench player that is still on the bench? Is there any?
Hmm.
Because we've
All the
as
ones that were in the race for me are now starting. Like I had Kennedy and I had Jordan Horston, but they got moved into the starting lineup. And then Sophie was my next person because DT and Beck Allen keep getting injured so much. She keeps sliding back into the starting lineup while they're out. So I don't know. Out like yeah, after that I kind of get into like possibly maybe Tip Hayes later on down the line, but I don't know. This one's still a question mark to me because everybody got moved to the starting lineup.
Right. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, I think that's been the case. Is that the same for you, Lo and Dolores?
I don't
Yeah,
know about that.
I think I'll know once I know who's eligible. Because I
Because
don't know
at this
who's gonna
point, some
cross
people
the
may
threshold.
be, it might be like a 2020 split or something. So,
Yeah, I don't. So once I know who's eligible, but I think as of now, just regardless of being in the starting lineup, not being in the starting lineup, I would go Horston, because I do think she's made such an astronomical,
hmm
jump in terms of impact, and I know you can't always measure impact on a stat sheet, but I would probably go Horston, because I have Kenny in mind for another award. So,
Yeah, Horston's
um,
like her impact for Seattle is insane. Her energy, like they need her energy on the perimeter, and she give every single time she does what needs to be done. She would definitely be my vote too. But
there you go. Okay. So, for this next award, I think that's where you were going. Most improved.
this has like 17 winners, but the winner of all winners is Kennedy. um,
So I feel like
but
off top, I think these are a lot of the names that a lot of people will consider. Dejanay Carrington, Ty Harris, Kennedy Carter, Atlanta Smith, um, Monique Billings.
Mm.
I would
Um,
include Maddie, but she's hurt now, so I
yeah,
think
but
all these weeks off will kind of hurt that.
McDonald,
yeah, Eric McDonald. Like there are a lot of options for
Can
this
you can
award.
you throw De'Erica in there? Like,
hell
cause she's
no.
been around for so long and an all star and all that stuff,
Yeah, I feel
but
like if you were an all-star and
her
second team of the
jump
year,
has
I feel
been
like,
kind of crazy. But
oh yeah, that's kind of hard. Cause she was sixth woman and then,
Yeah, multiple
yeah,
time
so
six
it's not
woman,
like she was
multiple
a
time All
scrub,
Star.
but
right.
her statistical jump has been kind of crazy.
Just put on one of the first or second teams. Most improved, y'all. Because
Well, based off of
True.
what happened last year, I mean, Satu
no,
Yeah.
got it.
it's
So
not the same.
Well, I didn't think Satu should have got it last year.
right, I
Shit.
know, right.
So well.
Do you remember people really was trying to make an argument about that? Do the most. It's
And
really not
then
that
was trying.
fucking deep.
Let me not. Let me focus.
So weird. It was never that serious. Oof.
And so you said if this ended today, Kennedy
Martin
has your
Luther King
vote.
Yeah,
ass
she should
nigga.
win by a mile.
Okay. How about you, Lo, Yana? Kennedy as well.
It's a tie between her and Dejanay for me.
I was gonna say the
Did
same.
you know was second runner
Okay.
up for what? Six women last year?
Was
Yeah,
she?
Was
she came in second.
she? Mm. But then
Dang.
when I also think about it though as well, Kennedy was
Dang, so
whooping
where was
ass
Jordan
her.
Canada?
Kennedy was whooping ass
Rookie
her.
year.
Yeah, so it's like,
Right. Because she was he in the 18 range her rookie
Yeah,
year.
she was up there.
Yeah, she was cooking folks.
so it's just, but Dejanay, like, we knew when Kennedy got back right, she was gonna whoop their ass. I don't think I could have envisioned Dejanay whooping people's ass like
But
this
my
season.
only counter argument against Dejanay is her teammate is just as impactful as she is. Ty.
Who?
Because
True.
Ty's numbers are also jumped astronomically.
But the way that she getting it done on the defensive end too would give her the edge for me.
Hmm.
But I feel yeah.
And then Ty don't like to shoot a lot sometimes.
She's, uh,
Ty be making me
but
mad.
regardless of that, the stats are the statting, baby.
They are. I just
Like
be
Ty
wanting her to
numbers
just
are
shoot the
really
ball
good.
I don't
two
be
more
looking at no
times.
stats.
Huh?
I don't be
Oh,
looking at no damn
brother.
stats.
I do think that Ty could take about another. Yana, you said two. I say four. A good four
Maybe
more attempts.
maybe like 2 to 4 more shots a game, you know.
And the thing is
Like,
that
baby, you got it
the
open.
shot be wet too. It be
Mhm.
ready to go in.
Feet wet. Oh wait, feet
Her
wet.
mid range is so nice, and Ty will get to the mid range and be like, let me pass it to AT with her broke shoulders." Like, bruh, Ty, come on,
I think
man.
Claudia might be coaching, but
Okay. And so, the we're gonna we're gonna skip over executives and all that good stuff. Gonna go to rookie of the year.
oh
An award
brother,
that's been up for.
get y'all's docket out. Make sure y'all got your pen with a stylus, because we about to argue, girls.
I ain't been
An
arguing
award
with
that's
me.
been up for much debate.
Angel got it for me right now. So,
Yana, wasn't you on a different train last time?
what I say
I
last
thought you
time?
said
No, she
Sabrina.
wasn't.
For
On
rookie?
that Caitlin.
I mean, Sabrina could probably win
Shut
rookie of the
up.
year if she wanted to, you know.
I thought everybody
No,
said
I said
Okay,
Sabrina.
okay, okay.
Angel. I think there's two races. There's the race that's already been decided, and then there's the actual race. And in the actual race, Angel, she has the lead for me right now. Last time I said it's closer than people think, because I
Oh
do
yeah,
think both fan bases kind of be like, it's not even close, and I'm just
yeah,
like,
it's
y'all
definitely close.
relax,
Yeah,
it's
now it's
close,
close.
like
I think
relax.
I think the one thing as a whole, not for me personally, that might edge out. First of all, I do, like I told y'all the other day, I do think they inadvertently gave Angel a push when none of her teammates are all stars. So when we talk about impact and winning and whatever, because they neck and neck right now, Angel seemingly is doing it by herself. Now is that true? No, because I not at all. But that's what it looks like at this point, because you got three all stars versus one. So
Hmm.
Caitlyn has this center who can score 18 points a game, and then another girl on her side that can also score 18 points a game. So it makes it look like Angel, if their teams are neck and neck, Angel is carrying a load. That's what they made it look like. But I think it is a really close race. So like you said, whoever's saying that's not true. But I think as a whole, what would give Angel the edge for me right now is she is doing all of this shit and the masses didn't expect her to. The people in the W didn't expect her to. Y'all didn't expect her to be shit. So now the fact that she's come in and been on this tear, I like I said, I think it just inadvertently gives her more of a push because we people expect it. People were saying Taylor's gonna come in and do this. She's gonna carry our whole. She's gonna be amazing. She's gonna do this. So right now it seems like she's seeing expectations, which is good. But to have somebody that comes and you had no clue, for the most part, I just feel like I don't know that would give her the edge. I don't know, but it's a really close race.
And for me, it would have to be one of the main reasons why I was saying Aaliyah would win it last year when it was Aaliyah versus Diamond, and that no fault of Diamond and Caitlyn, but at this point in time in the league, the 4-5 spot is the toughest spot to play in this league. Literally, it's like you got dogs night in and night out on your ass in the paint, beating the hell out of you every game. And for her to, do what she's doing and taking those beatings every game, like I know people focus on, oh, they're blitzing Caitlyn and they're trapping her and she's facing all these traps and blah blah blah, but y'all, it's like people don't really pay attention to what's going on down in the paint. Like in the paint, they be beating the hell out of each other down there in the paint. Like it's a war down there, and it's no like the refs barely call anything. So you're banging constantly, and it takes a toll on your body, your fatigue. And Angel, she keep fighting through it, and she's doing what she's doing, getting double doubles. Her points have gone up. People said, her efficiency got to get better, and she did that. I saw somewhere where it was like her efficiency for the first 9 games was like 30 some percent, and now it's jumped for the last however many games they played. I guess like 11, it's jumped to 48%. So, it's been growing. So to do it at the 4 or 5 spot, it ain't easy, and I respect that.
Y'all said she gonna give y'all them numbers. Okay, so
Always know me.
And so we know that those awards they can the race for the awards can change over the next few weeks, the rest of the
Ooh, while
season.
we here, let me just add some context to a lot of stuff. Cause I feel like people don't, like, there's a lot of new fans that don't really look or understand the trajectory of where a lot of these teams started. Like, I've seen people start pulling out the argument of, well, Indiana hasn't made a playoff in however many years. I think it's been like 2013 or something like that. But they haven't made the playoffs in a while. And, you know, Caitlin's can possibly lead them to the playoffs. And yeah, that's fine, but let's like pause and actually look at Chicago and what they're doing this year. Yes, Chicago made the playoffs last year, but this is a completely different team. A brand new team with a new head coach. All of like your star player, she's gone. The coach that you had, he left y'all for dead. You literally had to trade away shit, like trade away people to get picks. You're being led by a player that's been out the league for about 2 years now. Some rookies. Like, come on. Like, this isn't a team. This isn't the same team that made it to the playoffs last year or the year before. We're not looking at a team that just won the championship 2 to 3 years ago. Like, no, this is a completely different team. If this team was the same team from like 3 years ago, they'd also be looking at a playoff drought. Like, let's be real. And like, and that goes to the Chicago fans too. The new fans that be ready to fire Teaspoon off a loss to a championship contending Seattle at home. The same Seattle that has really only lost like maybe 2 games at home before that game on Friday. Like, slow down,
But
y'all. Like,
also,
what?
the gag is they lost, or they lost worse, because they left the one player that y'all don't even fucking like on the bench. Now, how does that work?
Noelle didn't mind.
Right. So I took her ass in there and said, well,
When I saw that video, I was laughing because she literally just laughed. She was like, well, shit. I mean, Camilla played like 20 minutes. All's good.
that was funny.
We should find out who be speaking of records, we'll be finding out who the WNBA All Star coaches are soon. If I'm looking correctly, it should be Phoenix. I mean, excuse me. It
Should
should
be
be
Sandy, right?
yeah, Sandy and Stephanie, right?
Well, Stephanie ain't coaching because it's Team USA. So Cheryl gonna be coaching regardless.
Oh, Stephanie's on Team USA staff. Oh yeah. Oh
No,
right,
but I
right.
mean, Cheryl
Gotcha,
gonna be the coach.
gotcha. Yeah, I forgot that's what this is. So yeah, it should be Sandy. Um, I wonder if Sandy would do like she did the last time. Is she still the Australian national coach?
Mm.
I think so.
Because didn't like they not participate?
Nah, cause she said, or someone, it was somewhere where people were talking about Ezzy being left off, and some people were saying they thought it was because, maybe because of Ezzy being on the Australian team, and it was somewhere where she said Ezzy would have still been able to play and then report to camp or something like that. So I don't think they would have took that off. They didn't take it off last time either, cause Liz played. That
Yeah,
was the
that was,
Olympics before all the crazy shit happened.
I remember that. Was somebody talking?
B.
Oh,
Oh my bad. I was talking the whole time and he was on mute. Sorry.
oh, brother.
I was saying sorry, I was trying to stir and not bang these pots in your ear. Um but we're gonna take some questions from the audience and you know, raise your hands if you'd like to come up. Tonight's going to be a good night. You all get to leave out of here a few minutes earlier. It's going to be like class, like Lo used to do. Dismiss you a little early. So raise your hands if you would like to come up to the stage. We know this week we have quite a few games coming up. Tomorrow there's only one, but then Wednesday all of these games starting at sunrise. So make sure
Camp day. It's camp day.
yes, make sure you are wide awake to tune into those games. I looked at that calendar and it said I had a game to watch at like 8 a.m. and I said, oh my God. But it's all for the kids. Strict love the kids. And you know they're gonna be in there screaming. They don't care who they're screaming for. They just want to make noise, and that's why we love Camp Day games. So I see a few hands there.
Camp day is necessary, y'all. So please do not spend Wednesday
Fussing.
upset
They will.
about these early games. Let's just skip that. Let's skip that.
Hold on. Beyonce. I mean not Beyonce. C.
What the fuck?
Come on up, C.
What did you just say? Are you okay?
No, she got the Beyonce picture. You don't see it?
Mm-mm.
Hey
I
C,
see
how are
it.
you, C?
Hey y'all. All right, so my question is about the upcoming All-Star and Olympic break. Obviously, Vegas has 4 or 5 starters on it. I'm curious if y'all think that the fatigue factor in the back half of the season, like y'all said, is like 14, 18 games down the stretch, could be an issue for Vegas, considering that's their entire starting lineup that's going to Paris. Or on the flip side, do you think that that helps them and keeps them in game shape to finish out the back half?
What happened last time? Do you remember?
Um, shit.
It was
Who
Jackie.
won?
Well, yeah, they had four. Well, that was
Yeah.
2021. So yeah, they
Yeah.
had Jackie and Kelsey who were 3-on-3, and then they had
Asia and
Asia and
Chelsea.
Chelsea
I don't remember what happened last time.
Who
and
won that
Liz.
year? Was
No,
that
no,
the
Liz did one.
year Chicago won it?
Yeah, Chicago won. Yeah, because
So
remember the Slade
Vegas
Bill.
lost to Phoenix and Bill drew that little squiggly line on the board.
Yes.
Good times, good times.
He sent Jackie to the bench. That was the whole poke the bear thing against DT.
I remember the timeline going crazy after that play, man. Should they be worried about fatigue? I think so, but um, they'll just have to, do what
Messed
they do.
up.
Team USA is there's a lot of great players, and so they shouldn't have to play heavy loads of minutes. Um, and I mean, honestly, all the other teams, their best players gonna be on Team
Right.
USA too. So,
Phoenix has three. New York has two. Vegas actually has five because Tiff is going for
Oh yeah.
Azerbaijan.
Now you
Um,
know.
apologize if I butchered that name. And then so a lot of teams either have well Phoenix they got Beck going too. Seattle has Steph. So a lot of the top teams have multiple players going to the Olympics. So I don't think that it's just an aces problem. They probably have the most, but most of the contending teams have at least two probably.
Okay, so follow up on that then. How volatile do you think the back half of the season will be, considering a lot of the contending teams do have Olympic players? Meanwhile, a lot of, let's say, the bottom feeding teams or like on the cusp teams really don't. So they get a month to kind of just play. Do y'all
They
think
ain't
that?
making no rain. I mean, they ain't making no run.
Yeah, I think
because teams are about to start after that Olympic break, like right now, I feel like starting last week and we might see a little bit this week. A lot of teams look like they're already checked out for the Olympic break.
mhm.
Like they're playing,
I
but
agree.
it's like they're holding on for that break to come. But after this Olympic break, I think we about to see teams lock in, like probably play some of their best basketball. And that's everybody. So I'm not really too concerned about all those teams that got players on the Olympic team or anything like that. They know what's at stake.
Yeah,
Definitely. Thanks, y'all.
no problem.
Thanks so much. Got a few more questions.
I might go
Devonda.
rewatch that little game with Phoenix and Vegas just to
Mm-mm.
laugh. Now that I
Protect your
already
peace.
know how the story ends, we get Becky, we get 2 championships in a row. I can laugh at it now.
Devonda, you're up. Devonda, are you there? Okay. Jonathan, you're up. Hello. Oh, my bad. Jonathan, are you there?
I saw him. I think he dropped his phone or something because I just heard him. Then he said, "Ooh,
Yeah, it's connecting.
Okay.
Not everybody got connection issues.
it's probably B fault. I'm blaming B.
There's
Y'all,
a
it's hot
storm
out
out
here.
on the coast. I don't know if they on the coast, but I know there is a storm out there.
It is hot.
Did it come back?
Kevin, you're coming up.
Kevin.
Hold on. Should I have checked DMs? Let me see. Kevin, you're
Yeah.
up.
How y'all doing tonight?
Doing
Hey,
well. How
how are
are you?
you?
Doing good. So it's kind of like not off topic, but like, how do y'all think Rakia is doing over there
Great.
in LA?
Amazing. She's doing
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I just wish Kurt just used her a little more because I feel like she could. I feel like in college at Tennessee, there was a point where we were like, oh well, like she gonna go in the league and she's just gonna be rookie of the year, like blah blah blah. But I feel like he just took that down a ton because her game is just. I feel like ridiculously good. Like it is just
For
stupid
sure.
how good she is. And then Kurt is just, we'll we'll, we'll just have you run
That's
around
what it
and
is.
do a couple of plays. We'll just have you running around the plays. But I
That's
feel
what
like
it
lately
is.
she's been getting more involved, and I feel like if she did that, or if she was able to earlier in the year, then I feel like she would most definitely be in contention of the Rookie of the Year race because it's
Agreed.
just ridiculous.
Agreed.
100% agree. That is just how Kurt roll with his rookies, man.
And
But
second
she
and
been
third years.
hooping. She's a matchup nightmare.
And I think she was the one that everybody knew, like, she is the most pro ready, period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, period. So I don't know. Kurt just set in his ways, but he having to play her now, and they be on that sideline getting into it. Do y'all be peeping?
Oh yeah.
They be going
I
back and forth
don't,
on
but
the
I
side.
might have to rewatch just to look.
Yeah. Was it the last game? She came off and they was going at it. And I was like, ooh. But yeah, she hooping. And she get more confident and
Yep.
hmm
starting to get her bag. Child.
She got this little turnaround fade. She got the turnaround fadeaway down pat. Like
I love that.
she did that so much on Vegas. I was like, man, just pack it up. I'm tired.
Give it up, delicious.
It was the threes. When she started stepping to that three, hitting that three easy, because that's not always her shot. When she started hitting them threes easy, I said, oh my God, today.
And I be so torn when like the players I like be killing my team. I be
Mm.
like, hey, no, guard her. Like shit.
Like,
Like
please make it
pieces.
stop.
But when I was watching that game, I was telling my mama, I'm so happy Rakita graduated because baby, the way she used to work South Carolina
Ooh.
ass, I'm so happy she graduated. Like, thank you. Goodbye. Good riddance.
Good riddance. Get out.
Go enjoy your check, girl.
Please
Okay.
leave us be.
Thank you so much, Kevin. For you got another question
You're
or
welcome. No, sir. Y'all have a great night. I
You
appreciate it.
too.
Y'all
you too?
always do great.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. See, what do you have another question before we wrap it up tonight?
I don't. Not at all. I appreciate it.
No problem. Well, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. As always, make sure you go and check out the committeesportsgroup.com. Check out some of our merch. And tune in. Get League Pass. If you haven't already, tune in, watch the games, and keep it locked in here. We may be doing some other things coming up soon. We'll always keep you updated on those. Wink, wink. And as always, thank you for
Oh, wait, wait,
listening.
wait.
Oh.
Wait, we do got a question. Somebody asked, why do you think year two is such a tough transition? And it's because I'll answer real quick. You're not catching people by the element of surprise anymore. People can scout you. People know your tendencies. They know how to play against you. So now you
Mhm.
have to adjust to people knowing your tendencies and knowing how you hoop. When you come in as a rookie, you just shit anything stick and don't nobody really know how to play against you yet. They don't know your tendencies. But year two, you gotta combat that. Okay. Good night.
Good night, all.
Bye.